Hello and welcome back to another edition of the E Show, episode number 10. Once again, my name is Neil Ravin, Director of PR and Social Media for the Eastern Hockey League, and joining me this week, the head coach and general manager of the New York Applecore, Graham Johnson. We'll jump right into it with Graham. Graham, of course, last season you joined the Applecore kind of in the middle of the year. It was towards the beginning, but this season you had a chance to do, the full off season. What difference did that make for
Mhm.
you this season?
Uh, a lot. Obviously, you're able to kind of recruit your own players versus inheriting somebody else's. I think that's been the biggest difference. You really have your control over your group from day one, and I think that's been very helpful for us this year in terms of getting the right core players in place. Right from the very start. And we felt that we were able to do that, through the recruiting process over, the entire course of the spring and summer.
And you speak of core players. Every season, I always love to look back at the full commitment number to see where we end up. It's around 140, 150 every year. But there's always a handful of players that leave in the middle of the season, and sometimes it's kind of a good situation for them. You had one of those yourself this season in Quinn Robel. Can you kind of take us through the process and how he ended up at Becker for this second half of the season?
Yeah. Yeah. Quinn came to us, an older player. He'd had a lot of junior hockey experience to him in a number of different leagues. And, I thought he excelled in our league, played very well, was a very good player for us, was an assistant captain for us. And, he'd gone on a couple of visits to some schools early on. And, Becker came to him with an offer to come in here after Christmas time. And, we had talked about it, and, he wasn't sure if he should wait and finish out the year and see what else came along. And, but he really liked Becker. And, so there were a number of factors that went into it. But for me, it was, hey, Quinn, if you've got an offer, from a school that loves you, that wants you, that needs you right now, in my opinion, I think you take that offer. I don't think these kids quite realize that, playing Division III is very, very challenging nowadays, and offers don't just hang off of trees. May not always be your dream school, but if it's a place that you like, that's the right fit for you, and obviously is recruiting you that hard, I think it's something you have to strongly consider. And here for us, this is about moving guys on, whether it's to college at Christmas time or the following year, or to Tier 1 or Tier 2 junior. It's just about moving guys on to the right place. We thought that Becker was the right spot for him after Christmas, and he felt the same way.
And kind of switching gears off of that, you talked about Christmas a little bit. I'm going to go back to around December 10th. Your team's been playing pretty well since then, having won 8 of 11 games, and going back even further, all the way to November showcase. You've had 8 total
Mm-hmm.
losses. All of those losses have been by either 2 goals or less, and 5 of them by just a single goal. So you've had a lot of tight contests here as of late. What is the
Mm-hmm.
key, in your opinion, to coming on top of these tight contests here down the stretch?
It's just a attention to detail, and I think concentration is a lot of it, as well as compete level. As the season goes along, teams they get into their systems, talented players emerge, guys get more comfortable with the league, and you see everybody. You've seen everyone now a couple of times for the most part. So it just comes down to executing the details of the game. And where, against good teams, and as we come down the stretch, usually it's the difference, in a game is going to be those 1 or 2 plays that, we didn't quite execute, or we didn't quite win that battle. So really, for me, it just comes down to attention to detail and mistake management, because as the season goes on, everybody gets better. Um, and it's just a matter of your focus shift in and shift out, because you never know which play or which shift is, can really be the difference in a game.
And heading into the weekend, you guys have 37 points, and as of this moment, you would be the 4 seed in the South Conference ahead of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. You got a little bit of a cushion between yourselves and the 6th seed, so it looks like most likely you will be in the playoffs. But hey, heading down the stretch, talking about the rest of your roster, who are some players that we should keep our eye on here as we head towards the postseason?
Boy, I think there are a number of guys that have been playing very well, especially lately. A guy like Race Bennett has come along and been a real nice surprise. He continues to get better on a daily basis. Joe Verbois is another big, strong forward that has been kind of pretty much a point per game for us, and he's done it fairly quietly. He's not overly flashy, but every game he's in, he finds a way to be effective and to be on the score sheet. Obviously our goaltenders, I think both have been playing very well, coming back from break especially. We're going to need those two guys to really be strong back there for us. There's any number of guys that can step up on a given day for us, and I think that's really since November. That's why we've been having more success. Is I think it's just a credit to our depth that even if our top line isn't performing in that game, we're getting secondary scoring from just about every line almost every night. So and as well from our defense, Ryan Leaf and Logan Scarlotta have really picked up and elevated their play lately as well. So it's nice to have lots of guys contributing on any given day.
Well, so there you have it, folks. 14 games left for the Applecore heading into the playoffs, starting with 2 games this weekend. They're heading back to Philly this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, where they'll face off with the Junior Flyers. Tomorrow night's game scheduled for 8 p.m. Sunday scheduled for 2 p.m. You can catch all the action on Hockey TV. Good luck this weekend, Graham.
Thanks. I really appreciate it, Neil.